Guys, I've got a goal on this account at the moment. Nothing can drag me away from working towards the 4th tier of combat achievements, and I'm getting really close to achieving this. You've already seen me tackle a few bosses over the course of this series, but I still have several more to learn if I'm going to knock off these final 122 points. So today you'll see the progress I've made towards this goal and the bosses and drops I've gotten along the way. I suggested last time that we might be visiting a boss I've never tried before, and so today we'll start with Zeemaregal and Vorkath in hard mode. I have a single hard mode kill, as well as the 100 normal mode kills required for Zeemaregal's Nexus, but other than that I've got very little experience. Here are the combat achievements that we'll be working on. Really hoping to knock the elites off at the very least, while some of those masters don't seem too difficult with a bit of practice. So, without further ado, let's get into it and see how many combat achievements and drops we can get along the way. So as I mentioned before, here's my log after 100 normal mode kills. I got a single spike drop as well as a Lord of Bones codex, which is pretty lucky. So other than the combat achievements, I'm after as many Vorkath scales as I can get. Although realistically, I'd be happy with just a single one for the log on the way to completing the Elite Dracolich set. I really didn't know what I was doing for the majority of these 50 or so kills, and I'd argue I still don't as of editing this. Vorkath is mostly just a tank test, and unfortunately it's turned out to be one of my least favourite bosses in the game. Despite this, I battled on with combat achievements, and I started with the Avoiding Bone Spikes achievement and no Dragonfire protection. In quick succession, I knocked off the Avoiding Poison Damage achievement, as well as not allowing Zeemaregal to stun you. I was starting to get the hang of it at around 6 or 7 kills or so, and getting kill times at just over 5 minutes, so I needed a little bit of tweaking to get a sub 5 kill, and you can see the following kill I managed to do just that. Next up was getting a kill without the use of the ballista. Not too difficult, but I just used a well-timed barricade as well as a few extra seconds on the kill. The next achievement was one I did have quite a bit of trouble with, so this was killing Zeemaregal without killing Vorkath. I didn't manage to do the one cycle, so I did just have to do a whole bunch of damage when he had 90% damage reduction, but got there in the end. And with this kill is the final combat achievement that I wanted to get, the 25 kills in hard mode. I'd still go on to do about 50 kills or so to try and get some loot as well. So there you go, my first excursion to Vorkath in hard mode. Wasn't necessarily too big of a challenge, but it was a terrible day to be a hellhound. So on to the loot, here's the first batch. And ask and you shall receive. There's a Vorkath scale which I can use to make the elite Dracolich body without the use of ancient scales. Absolutely massive. After another few Reapers, I got 10 more chests to open. And finally another 5. And that got me just enough Vorkath spikes to turn into the regular Dracolich body and then into the elite version with the scale. So I've overachieved in terms of what I came to Vorkath for, with majority of the achievements ticked off as well as a new update to my best in slot range gear. I'll have to augment the body properly of course, but I'll save that for another time. And as for the log for Zima Regal and Vorkath, I've just got the pet to go, so I'll have to come back for those spikes anyway, and it'll be great to get some kills for the threshold there. And here is my range setup at the moment. It's probably the least developed style that I have currently on this account, but the Dracolich body will definitely help, and I've got the Masterwork bow to go with it. I think the next most obvious upgrade for range would probably be the Stalker's Ring from Rex Matriarchs, as I can achieve this fairly AFK. I'm still intermittently doing Raksha Reapers as well to try and get that greater Ricochet Codex.
Come then, shed your mortal form and rejoice.
Elite Dungeon 3, the Shadow Reef, is a grind that I'm already very familiar with. I managed to complete the log in under 100 kills, which is pretty lucky, and I'm revisiting it for the achievements, as well as the Blackstone Heart Drops. And as for those achievements, there are still 5 elite achievements that I want to get done at the bare minimum today. I'm still a wee way off those Master and Grandmaster times as of yet though. So we started off without destroying any sinister fragments and without intercepting any black hand attacks. I just included this clip because it's been a while since I've been back to Elite Dungeon 3 and I got a 44-second PB at Crashy and Leviathan. We then moved on to trying to put the purple smoke in the same spot throughout the whole kill. In the same kill, however, I tried to attempt intercepting all the black hand attacks. Then I tried to tank 4 unstable black holes. These achievements were pretty annoying to get, and most of the time I'd try and do 2 in 1, but you had to run through the whole dungeon again to attempt each of them. It was also my 100th kill. And that's a wrap for Ambassador Combat achievements for the meantime too. I'll come back for the speed kills a bit later. Virago is a boss that I'm very much still getting the hang of, and he's got the most combat achievements in the game, with a whopping 42 achievements. I've done a few so far, but still a lot of room for improvement. Specifically, I'll be targeting those elite ones. It's a bit tricky because since I don't have tier 4 currently, I do have to wait for the current rotation to try them. As for the log, as you saw in a previous episode, I got the Masterwork Staff, so obviously I've got 2 weapon drops from Virago to make that, being an orb and a wand set. So we'll start with not allowing Scopulus to attack anyone during the Scopulus phase. This mostly just involved running around the room kiting them in a duo. Then, in combination with the kills and achievements I've done prior, I managed to maul every rotation in normal mode. This one was pretty simple, just avoid any rocks falling in the ceiling collapse rotation. Next up we tried the unorthodox version, which is the opposite. Everyone needs to get hit by every rock in the ceiling collapse rotation. And we managed to do it first try. Just a bit of coordination to make sure everyone dives to the right spot, on time, and doesn't die to the medium amounts of damage the rocks can do. So nothing major at Virago really, but we managed to tick off a few. Another boss that I need to come back to eventually, but I'm satisfied with what we've done for now, especially given that we've got enough energies to make Elite Tectonic. Hopefully, once I achieve the tier 4 combat achievements, I'll be able to pick my rotation and this becomes a lot easier. Araxi is a boss that I haven't been back to in a while. I've completed log except for pet multiple times, and I've just got 2 combat achievements remaining, being defeat Araxi whilst wearing bronze, and defeat Araxi in under a minute 42. As a little sneak peek for some future episodes, I do need to do a lot more Araxor to get some noxious components, to properly perk out some of my equipment, so I might be back here sooner than I think. I did, however, get a little surprise, which seems to be a trend lately. The Araxide pet in 707 kills. Really glad to get that finished, and this drop will take me on a little bit of a detour. For those of you who don't know, this pet actually has 6 drops, so after you get the base version, which I just did, you can complete a kill under certain conditions to achieve 5 other cosmetic versions of the pet. So the first condition was to kill Araxor with a mirrorback spider, after which you get the cosmetic version of the mirrorback spider. In this kill, I will actually get a second condition too, killing Araxor in range form. The next condition was to allow Araxor to heal 160,000 HP during the first 3 phases, so this just meant AFKing for the first 2 phases and then killing all 3 in one. The next one was to kill Araxor when it was in its magic form. And then finally, allowing Araxor to spawn 4 acidic spiders during phase 3, and then giving Araxi enough time to absorb them in phase 4 before killing her. So just the one combat achievement at Araxor. I've still got the speed kill in less than 1 minute 42 left, but I got slightly distracted by this little guy. So cute! Next up is Next Angel of Death. I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually know how half of these combat achievements work, but I was lucky enough to join a team that was running a few. So firstly, we defeated each Praezel at their full strength. Then we had to allow Nex to absorb 5 Reavers. And then finally, whatever this one means. So here's where we're at with Next Angel of Death achievements. We've actually done a lot more than I thought in my 250 odd kills. Finishing all the elite achievements is my general goal, so I'm very happy with that. After Next, I did a whole bunch of random combat achievements from various bosses. I managed the kill count achievement from Yakamaru and a Masket in hard mode.
Brave of you to come, World Guardian, or foolish.
Zamorak, Lord of Chaos, is another new boss to me, and when I say I've done very little, I mean I struggled through a normal mode kill on release. There are several combat achievements to note with Zamorak, but I was mostly just practicing here until I could get up to 100% in Rage. Initially I found the boss intimidating, but really when I got into the kills they were easier than I thought, although obviously I'm on very low in Rages. The pads seemed like a bit of a learning curve, remembering which does what, but otherwise it was pretty smooth sailing. So here are some of my kills and loot for my first time experiencing this boss. And then, since we reached 100% in Rage, it's my first time trying Phase 7. Not the desired outcome, but not terribly far away either, so I hop back in and I try it again. And there we go, I've reached 100% in Rage. The 7th phase is the only thing that had been remotely threatening me during these kills, and I just need some practice to get it down when I continue to push in Rage. This boss, for me, was a lesson in just giving things a go, because it might not be as hard or as grueling as I may think. Before I end today and show you where we're at with the combat achievements after all these bosses, I first had 50 hard clues to open, as the relentless upkeep of Essence of Finality amulets waits for no one. Nothing major from that opening, but obviously plenty of fortunate components, so let's hope it's enough to get me above the 50 that I need for another alchemical hydrix. And we got there. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it yet, but clues are some of my least favourite content, so it's great to get this out of the way. And with that, I'll bring you up to date with where we're at with the combat achievements. So you can see that we're so close, just 55 points away from tier 4. I'm not going to promise that next upload will be the one, as I'm prone to tangents often, but I can see a path forward. On a side note, I hope you're all enjoying leagues at the moment. I've been playing a little bit, but I'm also moving house, so I've only got limited time. I'm still very motivated on my Ironman as well, so I'll be bringing you regular updates next month too. So thanks for hanging out, drop a like if you've enjoyed, it really helps me out a lot, and I'll see you next time.
Interesting. You return.